All right, all right, all right. What's going on, Dallas fans? Dallas Cowboys Nation? How we doing? Beautiful, beautiful Saturday in Texas. Sunshiny. About to get out in the yard, get the house cleaned up, freshened up, ready to hang out and barbecue and have some fun. What's going on with the Cowboys, huh? Making some moves. Feel like they're in a great position. Done what they need to do. Uh, get on Twitter if you want to hear all the sky is falling crap out there. Problems we've got. But I'll tell you, you just got to show me a video of Dak Prescott slinging that pigskin, and I feel pretty good about where they're at. Jarwin, Pitts, does it really matter? I don't want to hear about it, honestly. Defense, offense is set. Defense, defense, defense. Anyway, I'm going under the knife. Friday, wish me luck. Prayers up to these doctors. Try and get me healthy, get me right for the kids and for just overall health and well-being. Anyway, hope you guys are well. Obviously, take care of yourselves. Self-care, super important. Such a stigma, and so glad to see it coming along. Shout out to the fan draft show. Obviously, putting out great content all the time. Jeff, Broadus, Brugler, Brooks, David, KT, all of it, right? And online, we got Vach and the boys throwing it down. Love all the stuff. Anyway, let me get into this. You don't want to hear about me all day. Let's basically what we're going to do, I'm going to put together a 4-round mock. I was going to do 7, but it was just dragging like crazy. So we'll do 4. I think that certainly shapes these teams and where we think things are going to fall, things are going to land. We'll stop, obviously maybe put a little more into the Cowboys draft stock and stuff. But overall, I think this is an important, fun exercise, right? What do these teams really need? What's going to be there for them? What are they going to do? Obviously, we're giving these quarterbacks away like cotton candy up front. You don't get the 1, 2, 3 pick by chance, right? You got to have the most important piece of the puzzle in the draft. And I don't want to spend too much time on it. That's exactly how I feel about it. 1, 2, 3, Mac Jones, come on, man. Come on. There's no way, right? There's just no way. Falcons is a tricky deal. I just don't know. But honestly, I really like Pitts to end up probably going there. I think they're going to stack it one more time, and try and run it back. New coaching staff, I get it, maybe, if for some reason Justin Fields is here, that's the pick. But for me, I think it has to be Pitts. And then the Bengals also, maybe this is pretty predictable. This is a lot like what the top of my draft board looked like 6 months ago, right? It really didn't change. San Francisco is going to go up there and take somebody. I did hear some really interesting conversations about pro days from Sims. If you follow anybody, I would encourage you to listen to Texas quarterback Chris Sims. Just a very dynamic, detailed, expert insight, I feel like, that is so much different and so not the average and normal just regurgitated information that you hear and find all over the internet. I love it. There's some other great guys out there on Twitter. If I come across it and we get into it, I'll add them here as well. A couple guys I really like the way they do it and what they're doing. It's not just for the flavor of the week. Usually I love Daniel Jeremiah, but he's got to keep it fresh every week for NFL Network to keep people hooked and locked in. But anyway, Lawrence, Wilson, I say it's Fields, and ultimately I say it's Pitts, and the Bengals are also going to take that tackle. I mean, some of this is just no kidding, right? And again, same deal here. It's Jamar Chase for me, number one wide receiver to the Dolphins. We get into some more needs as we get through these rounds. It'll start to come together for you. This is the same kind of thing, right? It's just if you pick, and I'm not going to do trades, right? To be fair, but because it's just too crazy. But Lions, Falcons could very easily back out of these spots and try and collect some capital. But the Lions have a ton of picks in this draft, and it all falls well for them, right? I say if they're going to ride Goff, I feel like the ankle biting or knee shooting, capping, whatever it is, right? They're going to stack that defense, and they're going to stack the lines, and they're going to get lunch pail, old school, rough, tough football. And I think Micah Parsons is the spot there. It falls the way it needs to. It's a position of need, and they need leadership. They need that killer mentality right up the middle. So character or not, that's the pick. Carolina, what did I do with Carolina? We're going to stack weapons, I think, right? I would say the absolute best player potentially in this draft at the skill positions could be Jalen Waddle. And the Panthers are going to blow it up with Sammy D coming back alongside Christian McCaffrey. Thanks for not winning me my fantasy championship. I hope you are okay in real talk. And Waddle out there with the receivers and kind of the other pieces. They stacked that defense. Year two is going to be big steps for a lot of those guys. That'll be fun. It's coming together quickly out there with our Baylor boy. What else? We got to get through this, huh? This could take forever. I got to maybe not chat quite so much. I just want to hammer these picks out, and you guys can make those comments and decisions and things for yourself. Denver Broncos, this is the tricky part for me, right? I am deadly afraid that they would take a corner here. Fuller's on a 1-year deal. The other guy, who's the other cornerback they signed? I don't know. But they're not locked down for the long term, right? They spent the highest money ever on Simmons. Insane. Wish we had a safety like that. Last 5 years would have been quite different. But, it is what it is. They're going to shore up the offensive line is what the consensus seems to be. Rashawn Slater might be the best big man in this draft. And I think him sitting there, Northwestern, competition, pro day, specs, stats, and character of that kid, he is so young and he is so good. And I think that's one of those cornerstone pieces. They already have a pretty stacked line. If they shore this up for Locke, all their position guys and skill guys are coming back in the receiving ranks, and then they can just attack defense, which isn't bad either, right? They're building from the back to the front. It's time to freshen up some of that, but that'll be a fun team. That's going to be an insane division there. And thank goodness that's how it falls. That is all I could ever ask for. This is not a decision or a conversation or a problem for me. We're going to take my CB1, the perfect perfectionist Patrick Surtain II. PS2, the only thing I've ever heard anybody say is that he's boring and he might not be quick enough. And I will tell you, go watch it. He's as fast as he has to be. Breaking downhill to smash somebody in the flats or to pick up a screen or to shoot through traffic and take somebody scrambling out of the play, he is very quick, very explosive. He doesn't look fast in routes because he was taught by Surtain probably and Nick freaking Saban to sit right in the pocket of that wide receiver, right? If you're trailing him ever so slightly, that puts you in the best position to not have inadvertent contact and create penalties and to make a play on the ball and to follow and just mock that receiver until the last minute and then you make the play. But I go and watch it. It's just ridiculous. He's perfection, and at an exact perfect need. That's all there is to it. That's it. End of story. Don't at me. You can if you want to, but that's what it is. And I just so hopeful this falls exactly like it does. Cowboys don't get antsy and move up. I don't see that happening, but I hope we're all on the same page here. Top 10, Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, Kyle Pitts to the Falcons. Am I jealous? A little bit, but not really. You want to see Schultz and Jarwin ball out in the 11 personnel? Let's get it, baby. Let's 12 personnel. Anyway, I'm about that life. I actually like the sprinkle pickup, which is underrated. A lot of these little moves are kind of underrated, right? If Neal and KZ and Sprinkle comes in on big package sets, and I kind of liked him coming out. He's got that silly name, Serious Sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Danielle Hunter, loved him coming out. Looked like a man possessed. And your name's Danielle. You better come to play. You know what I'm saying? A boy named Sue, get it done on the field. Anyway, we get into some more Cowboys. This is for everybody. New York Giants. What did I do there? Now I can't even remember. Gosh, guys, I tried to run through this. I was a little hammered, and I erased like 4 rounds of picks. So I think this will fall the same, though. I would say ultimately, where's the value, and what are we doing? I would say you put Devonta Smith on that New York offense, and that's a pretty crazy setup, right? I mean, I like the Rudolph pickup. People were talking crap about that. Ebron and Rudolph are a really nasty combination, right? You use Rudolph as a red zone monster, and you use Ingram all the way up and down the rest of the field to stretch that middle and stretch the defense. I mean, it's a good setup. I wanted Rudolph so bad when they re-signed him with the Vikings. I thought he would have been perfect a couple years ago, but just didn't work out. Cameron Brate as well, underrated third tight end, however that happens for the Bucs. Stuff like that. You got to watch those guys. Pick them up where you can. Just keep backloading the roster, right? That's what I think McCarthy and is gonna help them understand, right? You just don't fill the little holes in the dam with free agency for a year. You're like stacking across the whole thing to prevent catastrophic injuries from ruining your season. Super underrated. Hashtag NFL should expand the rosters, and the XFL should be a junior league, feeder league for talent and entertainment. Hashtag rock Dwayne Johnson. Let's make that happen. Where are we at, man? We're going to keep this rolling. The filthy Eagles. I don't know. I'm going to give them J.C. Horn. Gosh, I'd hate to see him 2 times a year balling out like that, but that's the pick here, right? They're not taking a quarterback. It's another, potential trade down type of a situation, but they need that bad, and I think that's a healthy place. They had some good roll the dice on some wide receivers in free agency, and they'll get one later. The Chargers also, this is so weird. Is this a different pool? This went so much better when I was drunk. That is so weird. Why are there 2 quarterbacks still sitting here? I'm very confused. Do we screw around and have the Patriots end up getting Trey Lance? and the Redskins getting Mac Jones. What a pain in the ass that would be for all of their division rivals. That'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? So in real life, right, they probably give up a few picks later, and they maybe both end up jumping up and taking who they need to take up a little higher, because there's like super unrealistic that this would fall like this. Chargers, I love the Chargers. Love Herbs. Love his haircut. He needs to quit letting people shave it off. Chargers have been such a fun team forever, and like between Phillip Rivers' goofy butt and just not locking down the coaching staffs they deserve, they have underperformed. And then they had, 3-4 years of bad coaching, and then 5 years before that of just terrible injury luck. I don't know, if they need to work on their strength and conditioning core, would maybe be the answer there. But man, that's got to turn around someday, right? Anyway, a lot of good talent out there if they could put it together. I think actually I'm shoring up their. It's got to be Christian Darrisaw, right? These skill positions are going to start to bog down our board here, but there's no question, Darrisaw is a wildly huge talent. We're going to stack that line for them, and it's just going to make them even better. Herbie was the most productive Corby under pressure, I swear, with Dak being hurt. And I think you'd be just astonished at a year two step with a crazy stacked offensive line. The Vike Dog Sizzle, they got a similar deal, right? The Falcons, Cowboys, Vikings, all kind of struggling in similar ways. The problem is the Vikings don't have an offensive line like they used to, and they still have to rebuild their defense and their secondary and line and secondary. Anyway, what are we doing here? I cannot remember. What feels good? What do y'all feel like feels good? I think Barrymore maybe ends up going here. Is there somebody else that they would need more than this? Man, this felt so good the other night. I am so ticked about it. I feel a little lost here. They're going to take Christian Barrymore as just a monstrosity in the middle. Alabama defensive lineman, always overlooked. Not overlooked. That's not the right thing to say. They always seem to, people say they're being overvalued in the draft stock, and then they come out and just effing dominate, okay? I wanted Deron Payne, okay? Allen, all these guys, they just win. They're just winners, and they dominate, and Vikings need some of that. A lot of guys coming back on defense, and they'll build out the rest of the offense line and secondary and skill players. Offensive line and secondary and things a little bit later in the draft. It just happens to fall this way, right? So try and keep running through this. I apologize. Sure as shit. Way to go, NFL. The New England Patriots score, and again, I'm not able to do it. I watched the pro days, some of it, right? I'm not a NFL scout. I got a real job, but Trey Lance looks badass, okay? And there's nobody I like as a person and hate as an NFL quarterback more than Carson Wentz. But Trey Lance is a badass, okay? He is slinging that thing. I like the body type, build, mannerisms, character, the kid. The arm is surprisingly powerful and accurate, and anticipation. I don't know who he played against. I don't really give a damn, I do. I'm huge on that, and I feel like Cowboys have thankfully leaned more towards big programs, But Trey Lance is excellent, and I think that learning behind Cam Newton would just be unreal. This is an unreal, like, what the F, people. We should have just drafted him so that Patriots couldn't have him. But get ready. Pats are coming out of COVID, and it's no joke. So they got about 16 tight ends on their team from the draft last year and free agency this year. So that should be interesting. They're just going to line up every giant person like it's freaking Madden and bowl over these new, lighter, smaller linebackers and secondaries of the NFL. Watch. Bill Belichick, he's getting older, but he isn't getting any dumber. Cardinals, they need some things, and they need some things that aren't really here. I think this has got to be Greg Newsome for me. I think that they're losing Patty P and that other badass cornerback out there. He might be gone or getting a little older as well, but I think Newsome is just like a spectacular athlete, spectacular potential, and that's how that's going down. Vegas Raiders need a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I think I ended up giving them Morig. I can't imagine him dropping much more than this. It's weird because they took that huge jump on Jonathan Abrams, and I just hated his interviews. Thought he was completely full of shit, and maybe he'll prove me wrong. More power to him. But the injuries, right? It's kind of not fair, right? You have a couple injuries, and bam, you look like a duck right out of the gate. But talk that shit, you better come out and play. Aggressive, intensity, super important. Is the smarts and the field general skills there is my concern. Oh, that's right. No, it's not a safety. It's JOK, and that's what it is. That's insane player at pick 17, in my opinion. The kid is he's everything you thought he could be, right? Jalen Smith coming out of Notre Dame, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is badass, and the kind of person and fit I think Raiders really covet. Traits and production and archetype alpha type. Defends back on the board. Man, why am I so out of it today? I should be just hammering down these picks, and I can't seem to get my head around it. I think I talked some crap about Jeremiah putting Kwity Paye to the Cowboys at 10. That would piss me off. But the Dolphins, dude, Kwity Paye would be a badass little edge rusher out there. Or did I give him a tackle? Freak. Now I can't remember. Really need to get Tua some protection. He really struggled in the super quick decision making and under pressure. You're a little spoiled at Alabama with every player on your team being a top draft pick, But do you shore it up? I don't know. What about Bateman? What about Elijah Moore? That'd be a pretty baller pick there too. They definitely do need a couple more toys. I guess we took probably the best wide receiver. So are we going edge and keeping that, top 5 ranked defense, hitting on all gears? Or do you shore up the offensive line? Shoot. We pick again at the very beginning of the second round. So there's some really good tackles. I don't know. They might all go this round. But I think we're taking maybe the top edge rusher on the board. If you take the number 1 wide receiver, in the draft rankings, and you take the number 1 edge rusher, I mean, how could you go wrong? You got the splash skill and the grit, sacks, pressure, defensive dominance. I mean, I think that's what we do. I've talked myself into it. And then how the hell does this happen, right? Are you kidding me? And, Ron Rivera, what is it? Riverboat Ron. And then you've got Blackjack Del Rio. What a badass team the Washington Redskins are becoming. Excuse me, the Washington football team. Gosh, I haven't done that since last season. Shame on me. Man, I miss it, though. Cowboys and Indians, it sucks. It's cool, though. Washington football team with the numbers. Kind of got a Bama vibe. I dig it. Anyway, whatever. Just want everybody to be happy. We're just out here, bashing our heads against each other's heads, getting concussions and long-term brain damage and degenerative, everything. These men are just beat to shit by 35, and we just want the ratings, So change the name. That's activism. That's progress. Anyway, have fun with that. PC people. The Bears. The Bears. What are we doing? Andy Dalton, bro? What a joke. And then to even come out and say, well, this was our B- plan. That organization is just god-awful frustrating, man. Nagy's cool that he put that nasty defense together, and, it's just such a terribly run, front office. What a stupid joke. What is going on? I mean, and then it's easy for me to say that, right? The triple dink field goal doesn't happen. And is that a totally different conversation, right? Oh, Bears are deep in the playoffs. No, they have a roster building issue. And I think they're kind of clean house, tank this season and come back again. But, it's just ridiculous. Such an embarrassment for such a storied franchise, in my opinion. But anyway, who the heck do they pick? I think I end up giving them a wide receiver, right? Is what they, they could use a tackle too. I mean, Andy Dalton is going to be back there, mediocre performances. They only have 3 picks in this entire draft. I mean, what are they going to do with that? I'm going to give them a skill position, and then I'm going to give them somebody on the line and somebody in the second. I mean, I don't know what else you do. I'm going to give them Bateman, and I think maybe that's sleeper top 3 rookie wide receiver performance next year. You can jot that down. And the Colts. What do the Colts do? I feel like the Colts are where Walker Little lands. They are strong on D-line, strong on offensive line, and it works just great. They've got Wentz now. I mean, 3 strikes, you're out. Are you kidding me? Andrew Luck really made my heart hurt when he hung it up. I respect it. I respect the man. It was a tragedy for all football fans everywhere. They had finally put the perfect team together, and then he's not hurt. They're perfect, and he walks. That still blows my mind. But all the best to Carson. I think he's a great human being, and if he could stay healthy, he's a pretty damn good quarterback. He stands in there like Roethlisberger or Aikman, like a man, and handles his business, right? He kind of gives me like an Elway vibe, right? With a goofy, Andy Sandberg frickin' face. But anyway, Tennessee Titans, what are they doing? They're going to hit this pass rush too. Look at this. They got 2 great choices. I love AZ Ojulari, super underrated. Love it. And the Penn State player's no joke either. We're just going to take the top 1. I don't know, Tennessee, Georgia. Do you keep it kind of local? I feel like we like that vibe over there in the, the southeast-ish. Now, we'll take the best player just to keep this honest, keep it rolling, keep it fair. But I'd say those guys are pretty similar types of value at this point. And, they can get a wide receiver later, secondary, guard, tackle, stuff like that. They're just Oh man, Dylan's here. Telvin's here. Now, come on, we got to stick to the board. Best player available. We're gonna take this one. Maybe this wouldn't be my board, but I don't own a website either, so we're using it. The New York Football Jets. Is that how that works? No. Love the draft hat. Haters gonna hate. The draft hats are BA. I ordered one from last year because they were almost gone from existence. The Dolphin Gray was so sick. And then I love the trucker hat, dude. It's hot in Texas. Don't hate on the trucker hat. It's all about it. Can wear it at the beach, wear it in the summer, wear it everywhere. I dig it. Black and blue. It's legit. They're all good. People are so ridiculous. I'd rock that Kingsford New York Giants hat if it wasn't the dang Giants. Things are baller. I like the Buffalo Bills one. I think probably one of my faves. All right. As you were.